What's up out there? Let's talk about the mods that I am running currently. Now we have mod profiles and I'm going to explain the mods that I am running in relic mode. That is the only game mode that I am playing currently, so that's the one I'm geared up for. I do have a couple other profiles, like I have a default quality of life one, and that one basically just has what I consider the basic package of quality of life stuff that I would always turn on. Now, I need to put one giant caveat into this video before we go further. I had this recorded, I had it uploaded, I had it ready to go. I was just needed to put the finishing touches on it. And then we got the expansion message today. So some of the mods you're going to see here are going to be no longer applicable after about a week. So I am going to run through the mods that I'm using. Just know that not all of these are going to survive the next week or so. So we'll see what shakes out when the new patch. We've got a quality of life patch coming ahead of the expansion, and then we've got the expansion. So we'll see what all changes, but I wanted to run through these. Now, my philosophy for modding I generally play video games vanilla. I don't play with mods at first. I get used to the game, then I start putting in mods where I think I want them. I don't really just go off the deep end and start putting all kind of crazy mods in. For me personally, stuff like the music skill mod and things like that, the Strange Things, Path of Melvor, the adventuring ones, stuff like that. Some of them don't get finished. They don't necessarily get kept up with. Like if you're looking for that extra content, for those, I would do a separate a modded run, if you want to call it that. And that's what I did. I had a separate run. That's why I have this fully modded profile, is I would just load all the other stuff into that. If it ever broke, I didn't care. I don't want my main game breaking, like relic mode. I'm playing through relic mode. I want to play relic mode without it. I don't want to lose a skill along the way or something like that because of something got broken. So I generally put what I would call gentle quality of life stuff. Now, I've evolved a little bit over time and gone into a little bit of things that are probably what you would call pay for convenience in other games. We'll get into those. But for the most part, most of the mods that I run are just straight up quality of life. I don't like things that actually affect the game. I don't like things that give me cheats or things like that. I don't want to shortcut the game. There are certain things that I just don't want to deal with anymore, like farming or repairing township and stuff like that, mastery levels. So I've got mods that take care of those. I was a little reluctant at first, but once I started using them, I'm like, dude, this makes it so much better. And again, it's just stuff that's more pay for convenience than it is like pay to win, so to speak. So let's dive into these. First and foremost is the semi-core mod here. This is, as it's named, it is the core module for the semi suite of mods. And I've got, I don't know, half a dozen of these down here. We'll get into those here in a second. First and foremost is item uses. Now this one here, I think I'm just going to click through these. I'm not going to actually show them. I'm going to try to condense this video down very quickly. I basically just want to document the mods that I'm running, and then we'll see how this changes after the patch we get. Anyway, we've got semi-core, then we've got item uses. This actually you click on an item and it will give you a list of all the things that item is for. It's very handy for like township tasks and stuff like that. Or if you're not sure, you get a new item, I don't know what this does, you put item uses on, you click on it, and it will list a bunch of stuff down there. Now, another caveat, these may show outdated patch versions. The mods usually still work. Now, barring this, the base game hasn't really changed a lot, but we're getting a big quality of life patch and it may change some of these. So just be aware that the version number may be slightly older on some of these, but it's okay because they still work up until they don't work. So whatever that is. Quick shards. The best thing about this one here is, or the reason I have this one is, instead of having to have a spreadsheet or a calculator to figure out, okay, I've got, in this example here that they show, you've got red, blue, and yellow shards, and you need to buy some. You can actually put a quantity on here and tell it how much to buy, and it will buy that quantity for all the shards listed. So you don't have to worry about calculating this one needs 5 and this one needs 3. No, you don't have to deal with any of that. It takes it all into account and buys all 3 shards at once. So it's huge. Handy dandy notebook up in the upper right hand corner, puts a little notebook thing. I don't really use this as much anymore, but I've put stuff like what I'm doing for the week, or like right now I've got, agility obstacles and stuff like that. What goes with what skill, or, just notes. It's just there for notes. So it is a handy dandy notebook. The Do I Have Room one, this one, if you can see it on here, it shows, it says you need 3 bank slots to get all the drops from this NPC. I have more than enough bank slots, so I can't really demonstrate this. But if you click on an NPC to thieve and you don't have enough bank slots, it will tell you how many you need to free up. So go sell something, go buy bank slots or whatever, or you're just going to miss certain items. So this is very cool. And this is another one of those that just makes life so much easier because it calculates how much room you're going to need for that NPC. Like you click on the something that's got like, I don't know, 30 or 50 items, and you've only got 20 slots left. It's going to tell you. You don't have to sit there and count it all and try to figure it out and do a lot of mental gymnastics. It's too early in the morning for that. Shining Star. This one is a great mod. I wish this was actually in the game. So it does 2 things. It shows you via stars how many of because you've got 3 regular stardust and 3 golden stardust, whatever you call them, modifiers within the constellation for astrology. But you don't know without actually clicking into the constellation how much progression you've got into that. This shows these stars at the card instead of having to click into it. You're sitting there trying to figure out what all you need to spend as you're going through agility or astrology. Now, okay, I've got some stardust. Well, where do I need to spend it? Instead of having to click into each constellation and look at it and back out, this just shows you the stars, and it'll put a little, you can't select anything from this menu, but it shows you the constellations you don't have completed. And when they're completed, it shows the little symbol here as like a bunch of stars and stuff flying instead of just the circle. So as you fill in the constellation, these stars will fill in. And then when you look at this and see that all these white stars are solid, then you don't have to go in and use the regular stardust anymore. And as you see all the gold or the yellow stars are solid, you don't have to go in and spend those anymore. And then when they're both filled in, the constellation lights up and it's done. I think that's a great quality of life. That's a huge quality of life in my opinion, because astrology is real easy to get lost in. All right, I got to click through every single one of these constellations. I used to do that. You'd go in and you'd click through every one, click in. Okay, I can't spend anything there. Click out, click in. Oh, okay. It just sucked. So I like that. Shop item owned indicator. Now this one actually, if you go into the store, it will it shows whether you own it or not, or upgraded version of it. Like this one says superior owned, so you don't have to buy the fletching skill cape. Where this was huge is when you're buying all that crap for township, where you got all the different suit parts, or you got the hat, the coat, the pants, the boots, and then you got to remember that did you buy all those, and you got to go write them all down. Well, this thing actually shows that, and it shows every item whether you have it in your inventory or not. But it was real handy with the township stuff. Show Slayer tier. This one actually shows you whether it's mythical or legendary or whatever in the monster list. You're trying to figure out, I want to go do a Slayer task. I want to kill that monster, but I don't know what Slayer task it's part of. Well, this mod shows you what that Slayer task is for that monster. I like it. I think it's a pretty cool, handy one. Pretty handy one to have. Show skill modifiers. This is getting replaced in the expansion, I believe. That's going to show where all the different stuff comes from. So I'm not going to dwell on this one too much. We'll see if this one survives, or if they rework it to show things that I don't believe all the skill modifiers are being shown with the expansion. So this may still have some utility. But this one adds a little book up at the top left here, and it lists where everything comes from, whether it's astrology, summoning tablets, or whatever. It just gives you a list of all the different modifiers, and you can actually click on it and see where something's coming from. Where this is super handy is when you see the red negatives, you can actually click on that and see what you need to modify. Why am I losing 6% XP? Oh, it's an agility obstacle I need to go change. So you can actually look at that. So there might still be some utility with this one after the words, because it's not just showing this one doesn't just show the good stuff, it shows the bad stuff too, and lets you know where to go address that bad stuff. So I kind of like that one for that. Color-coded combat debuffs. Now this image is probably not going to show very well, but if you're in combat, this one actually color codes all the different combat damage types you can take. Bleed, burn, sleep, slow, stun, those are all shown on here. I think there's another one. But basically, you've got red for bleed, which makes sense. Orange for burn, which makes sense. Sleep is purple. Oh, there's like poison, I guess is green. And then there's slow, which is blue, and stunned is gold or yellow, whatever that color is. This one is great because the normal text that is there from the monsters is just plain white. And that's miserable to try to read through all that and try to figure all the status effects out. And your eyes blur over it if there's too much of it there. This actually just highlights the different things that you need to worry about. And I think this is a huge benefit to combat. Show Slayer task attack style. Now this is in the actual, I'll just go show it, be easier. So in the actual window here, when you're actually going to select your Slayer task, this puts this little dialogue or this little thing right here that shows the combat style of this so that you can plan your combat accordingly. It's much easier, so you don't have to go into the Slayer area and try to figure out what you're trying to do. Or you don't have to look at the little dialogue there, then go into the Slayer area, find the monster, and then figure out what its combat style is. And I ain't got time for all that. This just puts a little dialogue there, which I think is great. I think that should be in the base game. Semi-auto township. The thing I have this one for is so that it automatically repairs your buildings. Period. That's all I use it for. I think it's great. I don't want to have to deal with any of that. It doesn't like fix it for free. It just removes you having to go click the buttons to fix it. So that's basically all I use this for, is just to repair the township. Upgrade all potions. So if you've got a big stack of potions and they're all different tiers, instead of having to click on tier 1, upgrade, tier 2, upgrade, tier 3, upgrade, and then go to the next one, tier 1, 2, 3, you just click upgrade all potions. It upgrades everything it can to as high a level as it can. This does not upgrade to something that it cannot do. So if you don't have tier 4 unlocked yet, you're not just going to get tier 4 potions. It will upgrade to what you're leveled to. So it's not a cheat, but it's a pay for convenience because you don't have to deal with, especially if you're going through potions and just crafting a bunch of stuff. Click that button, it upgrades everything. It'll even sell off all the tier 1. If you got 1 or 2 stragglers left, it'll sell those off for you. So great quality of life there. Show dungeon completion count. This is added into the quality of life expansion we're getting. And this one actually just shows you how many times you've completed the dungeon. The reason I use this is it's kind of handy to look at the dungeon and say, oh, I've only beaten this once or twice. Maybe I don't have the pet, or I don't have all the items out of it. Chances are if I've beaten it 400, 500, 1,000 times, maybe I've got everything out of it. Don't know, but it's just a quick look. Now they are adding that into the patch before the expansion. Semi-auto farming. This one, basically, I don't like dealing with farming anymore. This is another pay for convenience. I don't like having to go in and harvest all, plant all. This just takes care of all that. It just does it all for me and I don't have to mess with it. Auto open. This one will actually open chests for you, so you don't have to open that stuff up and deal with those dialogues. Auto slayer. This thing will actually, you can tell it which Slayer monsters you want to fight, which ones you want to ignore, which ones you want to extend out and make longer. So if you're working on melee, you can tell it to ignore all the magic ones and it will just roll past them. Now it's going to roll with Slayer coin, and if it can't get what you're looking for, it's just going to burn out your Slayer coin. So you want to have a good stack of Slayer coin when you use this, but I love this mod. You can turn this on when you want to fight a specific monster and you don't want to keep having to re-roll the damn thing constantly. You can select that one monster, turn this on, let go, and then you're fighting that monster. So it is very handy whether you're just doing Slayer tasks in general for a specific combat style or just trying to fight a specific monster for a specific thing. Like the Dark Waters monsters for the weapons and stuff. If you're just looking for one of those monsters and you only want to fight that one and not switch combat styles, you can set this accordingly and just go in there for one example. Semi-auto sell. You got a lot of crap in your inventory you just don't want to see anymore. You can go in and select whatever you want to sell and just get rid of it. It will automatically sell stuff. So be warned, that it will automatically sell stuff on you. And you'll be sitting there trying to create something. You'll be like, why am I not getting bronze daggers anymore? Well, you put it in here and told it to sell it, and you forgot to turn it off. And now you've burned all your materials out and you can't create those bronze daggers you need for your obstacle. Not that that's happened to me. Anyway, semi-auto master. And I guess I better add this about these semi-mods. That core mod has to be at the very first part of the list. These require that, so it needs to be up at the top before you get down to the bottom ones. Anyway, Auto Master. This one works with your mastery. So as it says here, Auto Master will automatically spend down mastery pool when they are above 95% while training any skill. Uses tokens on skill usage, respecting semi all but one setting. So there's a setting where it will leave like one, if you're doing like a living bank or something, it'll leave one item back. I'd turn that off. I just wanted to burn everything out. But auto mastery, I don't have to worry about all the mastery stuff anymore. You don't have to micromanage that whole thing. Another pay for convenience one. Auto rune crafting, I love this one. I need to do like little bite-sized chunks on how these mods work, because my video was way longer than this one's going to be yesterday, and it's just so much to go over. But anyway, the auto rune crafting one, you can set it in multiple different ways. Basically what you do is you put a value in. What I do is put one big number value over here in the top column. And then in the bottom where you address each individual rune, I say I want 1 of these, 2 of these, 5 of these, and then let the big number handle. So if I just adjust the big number, all the small numbers come up accordingly. A lot of words there. If you set this to 250,000 runes, and then you set each of your each of the runes that you have, like air, fire, water, chaos, and all that, and if you want 1 of each, it will give you 250,000 runes of each kind. So if you set all of them to a 1 and set this to 250,000, it will just create that many runes. So what I do is like air runes. You use a lot of air runes, so I set that to 5 or 10 or something like that, so it just ramps that number up. Then I'll do the regular fire, water, earth runes. I might do those 2 or 3. You know, they're going to be used a lot, but not as much as the air runes. And then, you know, light runes might have a lot of usage. Body runes may have a lot of usage, but some of the other ones may not. So it depends on what I feel, but I'll put the different numbers in. Again, I need to do videos for these. But that's the auto rune crafting one. We have auto bury, which will actually bury bones and stuff for you. Take care of your prayer points. If you need them for, if you need bones for township tasks, people want to say quest. If you need them for township tasks or something like that, just don't select them in this thing. Otherwise, it'll burn them off on you and you won't be collecting them. So like dragon bones or the small bones or something like that. Magic bones, I usually set to auto bury because I don't ever care to see them. I don't think they're used in anything, but if it's not used in herb lore or not used in an obstacle or a township task or something, I'll just set them to auto bury. And at some point, once I've got enough or all my tasks and stuff done, I'll just auto bury the next pile. Basically, this one just takes care of it so you don't have to bury it on your own. Another pay for convenience thing. The Incy Wincy Ancient Relics, this is actually a little menu that you can get instead of the big dialogue for each individual skill. This pulls up a grid that shows all the different skills and whether you have all the different relics or not. And then it just shows you the relics that you don't have. And you can mouse over the ones that you do have and take a look at them. Now, this last one is called Skill Boost. I'm really curious if this is going to survive. I'm actually going to show this one. This mod is this up here in the top. So this actually shows all the different agility obstacles that you can apply. It's also got all the different cartography stuff. This one was, somebody told me about this the other day and I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, how have I not seen this? I've actually quit looking for mods, so I haven't really been paying attention to the newest mods, but this one's really cool. It also shows you all the pets that you're missing, and like in mining down here, if I expand it down here in mining, it shows all the different equipment that I can put on. It shows all the different consumables I can use. I can actually switch. I forgot to switch my cartography area. It's got all the different agility obstacles that I could be using. Green is what's applied. This puke green is not applied, or it's not applied and I don't have the materials for it. Like if I click on this one, I can't change this because I don't have I don't have the materials. So it's not a gimme. It's not going to just change it just because you've coded it to change it. You have to actually have the materials, and then it'll give you the build button. And I can switch between it. And if I mouse over it, this says tree hang is plus 5% global mastery. This one's global skill. I would rather have the global skill. And same thing here. Here's obstacle 9 and 2 different obstacle 9 ones. This one has max node hit points. So I don't know. This is a great mod. And you can actually switch between different skills, and it will show you all the different stuff. But if you're clicked on, let's see, we're on mining here. Like if I go click on smithing, it will actually change in here to smithing or wood cutting. It goes ahead and changes it. So this has been a great mod. This is another one. I'm not sure how this is going to go with the new update. Hopefully this one continues, because I just found it. I didn't find it. Somebody just told me about it. But this is a great mod. And I hope this one continues forward, because I really like this. So at any rate, those are all the mods that I am currently using, and we've got about a third of the last time than I did yesterday on it. I should probably sit down and do more. I'm going to wait. I need to sit down and do individual videos for some of these, like how the rune crafting one works, because this is that menu that I was talking about. You could set this to 250,000. Tell it that I want however many number of these. Like, there's ways of setting this up. It's probably handy to go through and try to do some testing on these and see how they work. And maybe I should just do some videos for these mods. But at any rate, that is the list of mods that I am currently running today. I don't know how much of this is going to last after a week, but we will find out. So anyway, that will do it for this one. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.